All right, that's enough for the warm up. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So we're gonna use a kingmaker on this first hole, and we're gonna do max plus 10%. We're gonna be going directly for the green. Now on this account, I have APOC 5, so I will be using a little bit of underpower. If you have a higher APOC, you can just use more back. My main goal with the APOC 5 is just to try to keep it somewhere to where I get the easy chip in. So we'll be going with max back on this, which is 4, 3 left. We'll be setting half the red ring at the left rough, and we'll be adjusting max plus 10%, giving it 3/4 of a ball left curl. And when we're pulling, we want to make sure that we favor 1201. We're going to try to go for straight, but we want to favor the 1201 in the flicker, not the 1159, just in case we hit great left. We don't want to risk ending up clipping the rough. Okay, so we have 7.5. We'll be adjusting 5.9. Here we are at max, half of the red ring, the 4 left, the 4 back, 3 left, 5.9, pull in almost the blue to blue, 3/4 curl. So there's full, and we're going to let off of that just a little bit to underpower. And we hit perfect, and hopefully we'll stick within a chip and not go long. A little hot. It's a little long. That's the problem with the APOC 5 on this. You can use a rock and push up if your rock has more back, or any club that has more back. You just take what the distance to the 40 is. So for example, if you were using the extra mile, which is 36, you would push up +4. Since we went into the rough, we're going to use the Jared, which is the -30 at club. Club here is probably going to be about 10%, and it's a fairly straight wind. So we just really need to try to make sure we hit perfect. But just in case, I'm going to zoom out to let you guys see it. So there's max. And if you look, we're 2 lines up, which is 10%. So we're going to put our guide through the hole. Look for a nice solid spot. I'm going to use spin, backspin actually. Try to get off of that ridge. 8.9 is going to be 0.5. We hit perfect, so we should get the drop. And if for some reason you end up in the sand or the rough before, it is fairly straight wind, as well as after, it is fairly straight wind. And if you do the -30 Jared for the sand or the rough, you'll have a good opportunity of dropping that. Heading on to hole number 2. We're going to be playing mid 50% plus 15%. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in here. To the right of the notes, you can see I actually laid it all out. But I'll put it in here so you can also see it. You can see if we had 7.7, it would be 9.2, or 10.2. 7.7 would be 8.1. Go ahead and play it. No, it's not my first live stream, but it's one of my earlier ones. Does the volume sound okay and everything? So I'm going to go with 1.1 top, 0.4 right. I'm going to be looking with the yellow on here for the little funnel, sticky spot. You can see it right there. So now I'm going to adjust my spin a little bit, put it in the cup. .5 is going to be 7.9. Great pull. We hit perfect. Hopefully I pulled it correct. So when I set that up, I was a little too much into the cup. I really needed to have that line over the edge of the cup, kind of splitting it. Thanks for popping in and viewing, JJ. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll try to explain my shots and what I did wrong when I missed them. So our opponent set up with the red ring with the more top and was able to catch that funnel a little better. Hey, Mike. Oh, the hole 7 drive. I got lucky that all of mine were right there at the hole. Um, I used the Zerk because I was afraid to try to go the OP with the Titan. Moving on to hole 3. So we don't have a nice 2-2 start, but a 2-1. So we're going to go max plus 15%. And let me put the rock in the bag. There we go, rock 8 bag. And just in case on that one, I'm going to switch this out for the spit. The reason we're switching it out for the spit is in case I hit bag great left and end up in that bunker. I want to make sure I can reach the green still. Now you can do a club swap here. You can use other clubs other than the rock. I liked the rock 9. I haven't shot this with the rock 8. The rock 9 gave us a nice accuracy in case we hit great. Have you only shot one round, Mike, or shooting your other ones currently? Yes, our opponent here ended up in the sand. Yeah, I have to try to rush through this round, and then I'm going to have a little fun playing that baby account in Expert after this. So I've got max top, since this is a rock 8, and I'm going to go up to the +1. If you have more top, then, it's best. So 8.8 is going to be 10.4. So first I pull the 10. I'm going to come back here, pull the 0.4. You notice I pulled into overpower. I'm going to give it a little bit of overpower. I hit great left, but hopefully with the accuracy of this club, we stay out of that bunker. You can see I still had more room for more overpower if I wanted to. Now, had I been using a less accurate club, that great left probably would have put us in the bunker. And 340 should still put us near the min sniper, the 25% sniper range. Yeah, today, if you were going to shoot one, the tier 3 is probably the best one to shoot because I'm already seeing minus 18s in tier 3. I always lead off with my tier 3 as my sacrifices because if they don't make it, then I'm not hurt. I'll just hopefully get them to drop it down to tier 2. See, our opponent here luckily had the spit in his bag, so he's still able to reach the green for the putt for the eagle. So we're probably going to be about 25% club. I'm going to go down to min. So that was about 5.6, so 15%. Now I'm going to spin it till I'm just past and on the right side of the cup. 8.5. And we need 10%, which is going to be 7.8. Pulling over the bullseye. Hit perfect, and we'll see how we come in to see if I adjusted properly. Good first bounce. And we get the drop. So as you can see, the first 3 holes are droppable. I missed 2 just by a fraction, but you saw my opponent get it. Thanks for the booms, JJ and Mike. Now we're going to move on to hole 4. I'm going to do the layup here and try to hit that funnel. So I'm going to go on the drive, max plus 10%. I have my approach typed in wrong. That is 40%. So let's go ahead and play it and see if we can hit it. There's lots of different ways to play this hole. If you have the right clubs, you can go right at it with a special ball. You can go to the left, but the green is super bumpy and it's hard to get a nice consistent bounce. I chose to go this way because the green's a little flatter and you can get a little bit of roll and there's a tiny funnel. So we're going to go 3 right, 4.8 top. And I'm going to take the yellow up here and I'm looking for when it just clicks into the rough, which is right there. And 7.4 is going to be 5.8. I'm going to start at the yellow here, so I'm pulling on a nice even plane. Hit perfect. And what we should do is clip the rough and roll out to about 304, 305. Nice, Mike. With APOC 4, I would do the same setup because you're setting up below the max. So you're just going to be higher, like around, the +6 higher. It doesn't have enough top though, I think. So you might just be shorter and playing a little bit longer as far as being able to, you might be more like mid thorn. But you can play that exact same shot with an APOC 4. Because you're not going to hit max. I didn't see what I adjusted into, but you can roll back, and as long as it's +6 less, you can also maybe use a wind 4 ball if you're worried about going into max. Well, let's get our thorn in here and get the 40%. 8.9. Let's see how far from min we are. So 10, 20, 5. So we're going to be about 35% club. I'll run that up to 38, which is going to be 5 rings. Going to do a nose spin. There we go. I don't have time to make sure I'm in the funnel, so hopefully I am. 5 rings. We hit perfect, so hopefully I actually did get in the funnel. No. Went exactly where I aimed. Yes, I would just replicate the ball guide, Mike. Look for where that bounce is. I was a little bit further back on this. I think I was setting up a little too far left on this one. But as you can see, the bounce and roll was pretty consistent. And 40% seems like a lot considering it's not, but if you watch the video I posted and you can slow motion, you'll see that the line between the second dark green is where I aimed, and that's exactly where that ball landed. But yeah, it would have been nice to get that drop. Um, I should have been in the cup when I set up also. You notice in the picture of the guide, I'm actually inside of the cup, right side of the pin, and I set up on the right side of the cup. That happens when you're rushing. It is a fun one to dunk. If you do go for the dunk, you will stay on it'll backspin onto the green. I tried the dunk from the left, and you know, I hit the pin and it sheared it off just enough to miss it, but it spun back onto the green. So it's still a putt because it's a headwind. It's an easy one to go for the dunk and not worry about risking. All right, hole number 5. So going sniper, 80% club because I'm going to be setting up at the +4. And I'm going to go plus 35%. And if you look to the right, I have the Kingmaker adjustments. I took a little extra time to add those on there for this round because I had old notes and it was fairly easy using those old notes. So 2 back, 1 right. So I'm on the +4. I want the second bounce on the third bounce to be on the green with it going through the middle. 7.7 is going to be 10.2. We're going to pull straight. So there's 10, then 0.2. We hit perfect and hopefully we'll get the drop. Yes, old notes are definitely a help. I had my quarterback and my Riverside notes. Just a hair off there. I was probably not set up in the middle on that one. I mean, it's a good chance at a drop. You know, maybe I should pull 1.1 less than that or pull an 1150. Let me see when let me make sure it's 11:59 when my opponent adjusts. That way it'll be putting you a little closer but a little less on the adjustment. Because I had 2 drop and I had 2 on the edge like that. Of course my opponent's pushing. All right. If that's where you missed there, I'm going to say 1201 on the pool. I'm picturing it in my head. If you do a 1201 favor, that'll shorten the adjustment by about 0.1, and it'll put it a little closer so you're not going to accidentally hit the fringe. It's kind of a blind offset. You're, you know, aiming for the middle, so maybe it's a little to the right of the middle. But yeah, on this one, uh, was it on hole number 7? No, 8. I used the old notes exactly. Of course, I didn't get the drop, but I was right on each side of the hole and hit the hole just a little too hot. Okay, hole number 6. I'm going to see if I have a luminary real quick. I have one. I'm not going to use it just in case. I'm going to risk hitting the grate. Um, you can use luminaries here, a QB and a Titan on one. Yeah, I've seen a rock used. I've used quarterback used. Quarterback probably would have been better with the APOC 5 and Wells your APOC 4. You'll have to push up with the quarterback. I believe it's push up plus 12. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it would be a plus 12. Maybe a little less than that because I believe a quarterback 10 is 18 versus 40 for the APOC. All right, so we got Kingmaker, APOC. I go plus 10 on the drive. If you want, like I said, to use a luminary here, you would just push up to the plus 16 and you'll get a slow needle, and the slow needle helps. But I've only got one luminary, and I'm not going to waste it on this. I'm just going to try to hit perfect or slight great, which means I'll probably hit good. So we're hoping to get into the 430s, high 430s to 440 range. And what we're going to do is we're going to go max top to left. If you look at the picture, you can see that at the plus 16, I've got the yellow fully in the rough, almost touching to the right. And then we're going to adjust our max plus 10 and push back up to max. I did not try to go left here like our opponent did, but there is a rough bump option. I'm not sure if the wind is best for that direction because you get a fairly straight wind going this way and you can get into thorn. So 8.5 is going to be 6.7. So there's our spot. Max top to left. Always got to watch when I lift my fingers because sometimes it turns things and then I miss something and I'm like, what did I do wrong? And I go back and watch it and my pull is way off. All right. I'm going to give this a little bit of baby left curl. Max OP. And I hit a double great left. Hopefully I still have room there to be okay. But that's, yeah, we clipped the rough. Safe as far as not going into it, but clipping the rough is a possibility when you hit that great left. Had I hit perfect, we wouldn't have clipped. Had I hit slight great, we wouldn't have clipped, and we would have been up about 30, 40 more yards. So it's going to be club plus 15%. What I dropped it on earlier. I was at 442 and did 48%. This is probably going to be close to max. I'm going to, while my opponent's shooting, look at my slider. So every 5 rings is 8%. So I'm going to start with 92 just in case I'm 5 rings from max. And then I'll have max on there as well. As you can notice, it's only 0.2 difference. Oh, looks like we're going min Grizz. So 7.4 is going to be 7 rings. Hopefully I pushed up enough to get that adjustment. Yep, perfect. We'll see if the Grizzly plays the same way. There we go, nice and center. So I'm going to go ahead and note that in here. I believe that was a 408 drive. Thanks for the booms, JJ. Mike? Put that note in there in case anybody who's watching these guides pulls up short. If you're wondering about these guides, if you look at the pinned comment, that is the link to them. I don't know if I should really call them guides, they're more notes. They're my personal notes that I make as I play. As you can see, even as I'm playing now, I'm making changes. Hole number 7. So we're going to need a Zerk because we want to control OP and define the spot. And I'm going to go +0, B5. It is nice when it comes together quick. Um, you have to kind of keep that stuff in mind. I know that the push up on the Grizz, I don't know if it's here, um, that 10% was 8 rings. On the Grizzly 9, I just used that. So keeping some of those things in mind before you shoot just in case that happens helps. But it does let you know your elevation is spot on when you have to adjust on the fly like that and you still get the drop. And that was dead center, so, and I used the 10%. All right, so we're going to go to right. This is 9.6, I'm going to go 3.5 top. From stretch, I've got the yellow on the rough. 9.6 is going to be 7.2. There's 7.2. Controlled OP. I hit slight great left. I should be okay. That was a very nice shot by our opponent. Oh, and we clipped the rough. Yeah, that's a tough one there to clip the rough on. I mean, at least we rolled out. Yeah, I might have pulled at a wrong angle or that great left. I should have had room for it. We're going to be at Thorn. There's Min. We're going to go 10. We'll go with 15%. Put one back on it. Line up center and short of the cup. 10.2 from 15%. It's going to be 3.6. Oh, I hit great. So we're going to miss this one. Too bad. Looks like I needed a percent adjustment anyway because that went long. Yeah, 10% probably from there. That's the first time I missed that, not having a putt. But greats will do that. On to hole number 8. So for hole number 8, I'm going to do max plus 0, P3. Let me make sure that is right. 7.6, 7.8. No, that is wrong. Plus 5. Must have forgot to type that in. So 7.1 would be 7.6. Yeah, it's plus 5. My best finish in the mini was a 14, minus 14. I only played 3 accounts and I didn't put a whole lot of effort into it. I started to put up some videos, but just didn't get around to it because, doing family stuff. All right, so here we go. We're going to go with 0.2 back, 0.4 right, straight, favoring 1159. And I'm going to go with 0 top and 0 side spin to start, and I'm going to put the guide on the left side of the pin. And then we're going to make our adjustments. This does have the possibility of getting some rolls where it goes a little short, goes left and right. I didn't even look at expert. Uh, I failed expert on purpose on this account and on one of my other accounts. Um, just because they were both 3-star, 3-tier, and I wanted to try to get them down to 2, which I did on this account. Because it had just gone up. I mean, you can look. My scores are not that great for this to be a tier 3, and my clubs aren't even close. It is ridiculous, JJ, and I'm usually out of the 6 accounts, I have either 4 or 5 of them in tier 3. I usually try to keep one out of tier 3. Yeah, what it really depends on is if a good score drops off on at the same time as the one that's failing. Minis do really bump you up. Wrong ball. All right, so we got 8.7, which is going to be 9.3. So first I'm starting here. I'm on the right side of the pin, so I need to shift if it'll let me. There we go. 8.7. It's not letting me adjust very well. 9.3. All right, we hit perfect at least. We're going to pull up short. We were center cup. I could tell on that first hop. Did you see the dead bounce? Yeah, I don't know what was happening with the adjustment there. And I might have had it a little underpowered trying to rush, but there was a little bit of a dead bounce where we landed, and it pulled it up short. And we were center cup though. Um, I'm gonna lower that to 0.1 back because I haven't. Well, no, 0.2 is best because I had one earlier hit the cup too hot with 0.1. I'm gonna leave that at 0.2. Just a bad one. Yeah, it just that first bounce, I saw it chalk up as soon as it hit. That is a weird scorecard. Missing 5 and 7, but getting 3 and 6. End up with a minus 15 with 2 albatrosses. All right, on to hole 9. All right, so I've got my Kingmaker in, max plus 10%. So here, since I have a POC 5, I'm gonna go 5.8 top, which is the max, and 2 right, and I'm gonna put the red ring at the right rough, and the guide will be kind of pointing towards the center of the fairway, where I'm gonna adjust max plus 10 and push up. You don't have to push up, you can do a controlled OP, but yeah, it's the same result. If you're running short on time and you don't get to push up or you forget to push up, just go controlled OP and it'll put you in about the same location. So I'm looking to get around 407, 406, and that'll put me pushing up 9.5 rings to be 25% club. At least I'm hitting more perfects with this one, even though I'm getting some bad bounces. But earlier today, I couldn't hit perfect for anything. All right, so 2 right, 5.8 top, red rings at the rough. You notice we're pointing towards the center of that. 7.7 is going to be 6 rings. Just 6. Push the max. I'm going to give it just a little bit of OP because I'm a little, because it was a lower wind. If I was in the 8s, I wouldn't have, but I was worried I'd be short without it here. 412. So I could have just been a click of OP to get the 4-7, but we should be fine. I'll probably be 20% club to get about where I want. Twenty and 25 are pretty much the same thing anyway. So it doesn't look like it changes much at 7-7. So I'm gonna go with set up some backspin and some left spin and try to put this short and in line. Find min first. There's min. And 7.6 is 20%. 7.6. Move off there. I don't want to be in the rough. So if you look, I'm short and I'm center cup. 8.8 is going to be 7.8. Go with a straight pull. 7.8. Try to hit perfect. I hit great, so I'm going to end up on the left side of this unless I adjusted wrong. Left side of the cup, so it was very slightly great. Triple Alba, yeah. That's funny. All three albatrosses and missed what should have been the easy thing. So there's our card. Minus 16 will get through. All of these holes are droppable. The big dogs will probably get out and put up their plus 21s. Thanks for the booms. Thank you for the well played. So now I'm going to switch over to my other account, and we're going to have a little fun with my baby account in Expert. That's okay, Mark. You can rewind to watch the better one. This next one's just going to be for fun because this account should not be playing Expert. So let's take a look at what I got for clubs here for hole number 1. 214, but it has enough back. That's not going to work. All right, so let's go. This one got 220, 44. Let's go with the quarterback, and we'll push up and overpower. This baby account, let me, has 353 games. So not too many. It's not gotten any driver cards. That's the problem I'm having with it. You know, normally by now I have APOC open, but I just not getting any driver cards. All right, so we got. Let's go back up to hole 1 for the notes. It is a baby account. You can see from the clubs. Um, and oddly enough, if this is expert tier 2, I thought I would get lucky and get expert tier 1, but no. Nice, Mark. I did do some golden shots on it. It is tier 2, Mike Fox. Uh, I've done at least an extra 1 or an extra 2 golden shots every time on this one. So 3 left, 4 back. So we're going to be about the red ring there. 8.8 is going to be 9.2. We're going to push the max. And we're going to give it a little bit of overpower to go with our curl. Slight grate. Hopefully we have enough still to clear. Oh, we're coming in too hot. It does suck that they put it in tier 2. Uh, I could have played pro tier 2, but you know. All right, let's get out our Nirvana 3 minus 30%. This is going to be 10% club because I've already shot from here once before. Yeah, they move you up off of tier one quick. And the only opportunity I got with tier one on this account was I got one rookie and one pro tier one chance. Um, that was the pro two. I got fourth by tiebreaker. I should have been gold if anybody popped in to watch that. My razor on this, I believe, is a three. I'll double check. I've used Nirvana because it's a little longer and a little bit better guide. I'm gonna push up on this because of the way that is sloped. Point 0.3. I'm gonna give myself a little grate room. We hit perfect. All right, the baby account gets to start with an eagle. And I'll check what my razor is as soon as we get out of this. No, the fourth place pro chest was junk. There wasn't anything in it. The Kingmaker's about it. And I'm still very disappointed I missed that gold because of that mistake where I thought I was practicing hole 18. All I had to do was eagle it and win gold. All right, so my razor is a level 4. So the guide is a little better, a little shorter, better accuracy, but not much top or back. So the razor probably should be in there instead. Yeah, it always disappointment to get a good, card and then or good place and then not get a any kind of finish or any cards. I mean, I'm getting no driver cards in anything really. The fact that even my commons are level 7, level 8. Big Topper's the only thing I've really drawn. The weekend round, eh, I always tend to do better in the opening round and then blow the weekend round. What wedge and bringer 3? Yeah, and bringer 3 is what I'm using just because it's got a little better guide and a little better accuracy. Yeah, it's even better than my rapier. All right, so sniper should still work on this hole. Sniper 7, since we're only going 1.1 top and 0.4 right. Got our Kingmaker in there. Now I'm not going to be able to use my notes because that's for Sniper 10. So plus 15%. For hole number 1 mark, APOC 5 and APOC 6 are the same. So on my notes or my sheets or my videos, anytime you see me using an APOC 6, APOC 5 is going to be the exact same. The only time you need to be any higher than APOC 6, they're smaller rings. So, if you had a higher APOC, APOC 4 would be a little further over. And if that's the case, just look at where the second bounce is and use that second bounce guide as your spot, which is kind of what I did with the quarterback there. I looked at where the second bounce went through and I just tried to line up my shot with that. Right, Mark. If you I shot the first set with APOC 5. If you rewind back, you'll see the shot with APOC 5. Um, I went into the rough, but I underpowered it in order to help reduce that. I just didn't underpower it enough. Or you can use the quarterback as I did here. Mike also used the quarterback, and I've seen the rock used as well. I overpowered a little too much, about 2 rings overpowered. Probably been better with the quarterback 10. But Mark, if I was you, I would practice the quarterback shot. One practice token shouldn't hurt too bad. So we got 8.6 here. I'm going to do 0.5 and the 1.5. Okay, there's our funnel. I'm going to set up on the right side of it. And I'm going to go 1 to 1. Yeah, you could also use a backspin boost ball. Needed a little bit more than 1 to 1. That would have been nice to get 2 drops in a row with this count because it's going to need all the drops it can get because there's no way I'm going to be able to play 7 with the blast. I'm going to attempt it with the extra mile, but it's very unlikely. I'd expect Masters they'll probably dial it in unless the wind is bad. Inner wall right curl. I haven't had a chance to watch any of Brandon's yet. I usually do that on Tuesday and watch Borer on Tuesday and Kane on Tuesday. I try not to look at other people's right away because it'll get in my head and mess with what I'm trying to do. Yeah, 1 to 1 probably would have worked with an APOC or with a Sniper 10. The Sniper 7 being a little shorter, I would have been further down. I probably should have added 0.2. There is no tier in Masters, Mark. It is everybody for themselves. But, you're going to get, you know, I think the cutoff in the last tournament for Masters was still like a minus 30 on the opening round. So yes, there is no tiers. Nice thing about the Masters is also that you get the same opening round win as you do for the weekend round. Yeah, there's a lot, considering when I first started doing this, the amount of content has really improved. Okay, what are we going to do here? Let's back out and make a plan. So I need something with about 4 top, and I need curl. I might go with the extra mile, because I don't think this has enough top. Yeah, not enough top, and it's going to be short. I'm going to go with the extra mile. Just try to hit perfect. Now, Apocalypse 6 has a lot more backspin. I believe it's 7 backspin on the Apocalypse 6. The Apocalypse 5 has only 4. I still get nervous playing anything, Mike, unless it's like this where it doesn't matter. You know, on this where it's like, if I make it, I make it. If not, oh well. Oh, I do have I have Thor 2. That probably could have been good. I don't know if Thor 2 has enough top. It's a little late now. I don't have that in a bag. Yeah, that was a good option maybe to use the Thor 2. I didn't even look at it because that's a 220, which would have been the same as the Rock. The Rocket is short. That's the problem with the drive on one mark using the Rocket. So, oh, 8.6 is going to be 4.1. Looks like I'm going to need some OP2. I'm going to give it some extra curl. We hit perfect. We landed quite a bit further back. That's interesting. Yeah, the extra mile 5 especially is not a very pretty club to be using on this drive. And the APOC worked, okay. I tried it, but I hit just the slightest grate left on one of them with the APOC and it went into the sand. Let's get our sniper in here. So we're going to go plus 10%. I do not know what the from min should still be 9.5 rings on this because I believe it may not. No, it's not going to be 9.5 rings. So we're about mid club, 8.8. So we're going to go 8.7. So just through right side of the cup. 8.7. We hit perfect, so at least we should have a close. Not too bad. You know, considering we're guessing at mid there with the Sniper 7, only to be a little bit short. That was about 0.5 off, so we might have been a little closer to 70% club. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, it likes to turn and tease you sometimes. All right, hole number 4. Let's take a look at that Thor's hammer. So the Thor's hammer was more accurate, but had less top. That's why it's not in the bag. So we're going to go with the extra mile again here. Try to get this bump. With the thorn that we have, we're pretty much just playing for the birdie here. It really, as far as my sand wedge goes, thanks for the good luck cigar. Um, I use the Houdini the most because I like the guide and the accuracy, but I don't have spit six but one account, and if it's going to be a risk of a bunker being a longer one, I will make sure to put the spit in the bag. 13 is just a chat, not a chest. Looks like I might have a club that needs upgraded. Oh, I can take my Viper up to an 8. Yeah, I was doing better money-wise, but I hit a rough patch in T9 the other day where I got 9 par 5s in a row, and every single player was, using specials and APOC 6, and here I am having to max overpower the drive and max overpower with the big dog, and then it come to the shootout with the big dog. You're welcome for the information, Cigar. Hopefully, learning something. The front 9 is a little more informational to this. We're just kind of playing around and goofing off and seeing how we can play little clubs. All right, Mark. Have a good night. Be careful driving. So we're going to try to replicate the APOC shot. Yeah, it is hard to win games when you're that outclubbed. If it wasn't for it being the par fives and bad wind at that, I mean, I got the shootouts on most of them, but the big dog is no match for a sniper 10 in the shootout in T9. And, I lost most of them by, a yard or so. So I went from like 14 million down to 11 million. Then I did some upgrades the other day. So watch our opponent here, and you'll see why I didn't go this way on the notes. That green is so ridiculously bumpy. See, 7.9, it's going to be 3.6. So we're about the same spot there. I'm going to have to adjust from the bullseye just because of where it's at. So 1, 2, 3.6. Okay, I'm happier with great left there than great right, just because of where we were set up. Yeah, I mean, the only reason I was using the big dog because on some of the T9 par fives with headwind, the only way I'm getting to the green and two to even get to a shootout or a chance to win it outright is if I have the big dog. The sniper max overpower Sniper 7 just doesn't have the top or the length. Let's go ahead and get our little weak Thorn 5 in here. We're going to have to guess where the club length is because, you know, I have no clue the slider on the Thor 5. There is a nice little tool, if you haven't seen it, called the Ring Slider Bible or something like that on Facebook, and it gives you the slider stuff for all of your clubs. I've taken a look at it. It's pretty nice, but I haven't taken the time to look at all of the guides. So there's max, there's min, so we're probably about 25% club. We'll say 30. 8.6, it's going to be 4.2. There's our little sticky spot. So let's put some spin and put it in the cup and about a cup square short. .2. We hit perfect. I'll have to look to see if I have Hammerhead unlocked. Ooh, yeah. It was hot, but I'll take it. Let's look and see if I have Hammerhead unlocked for tour play. I might, but it might be like a Hammerhead 1. Yeah, Hammerhead 1. So it's a little bit longer. So I don't know if the 3 yards is worth the lower guide and the lower accuracy. Thanks, Mike. Sometimes it's just a matter of trying to put the ball in the right area when you're playing with these low clubs. I know from experience that the lower thorns are about a square short. The Guardian I have used quite a bit. Um, it's at a level 5, so at least it's at 170. The top spin really is what kills it, though, for some of the holes and tour play. Okay, on to hole 5. So here we're going to have to try to replicate this guide um, because we're not going to be at +4. We're probably going to be close to max. But yeah, the Guardian is nice, and I used it quite a bit in some of the earlier tours, but I left it off once I got to Tour 9 mostly. And I was doing okay. I was over 70% win rate with this up until that last little patch. That dropped me down to the 67. All right, so 2 back, 1 right. Let's try to find this spot. So we're at the +9. Need to move a little more right. There we go. 7.7. Take this up to 90%. 10.1. We hit perfect at least. So that chalked up big time. That was way under adjusted. That or I just hit a bad spot. I mean, max was 10.3. The extra 0.2 wouldn't. That's a lot more than a 0.2 throw. Either I pulled wrong or just where my perfect was more slightly great. The shot here that our opponent's about to take, that was in the touchdown for the back nine. That was the wind angle that we use this shot for. You get a little too much push generally for that shot. That's more if you got a headwind. It was close to the bunker on the top end, a lot closer than it needed to be. I mean, our guide was replicated perfectly, but if you look at it, it bounces fairly close to the bunker anyway. My guess is I put maybe an 1159 pull on it, which caused me to be short and right, and then got a bad bounce. Better, I really should have adjusted max. But we got away with the birdie at least. On to hole number 6. Let's see what kind of longer balls I have here. So I can go with the Berserker or the Ryder Cup. Let's see. So this is 226, so it's 14 yards short. So the Ryder Cup won't do it. Actually, let's go with the Ryder Cup because we'll have the extra top spin too. All right, so we're going to be max plus 10. This is a P4 ball. We're just trying to get it to land in the same area. The top spin boost on this should give us closer to what the APOC had. All right, so we're looking to land around in that area. 8.4 is going to be 4 rings. I'm going to push up and use just a little bit of left curl and a few rings OP. Great left. Yeah, if we get a headwind on the back, it's going to be rough. Um, what I'll do is what I've done in the headwind in the past is I use the rock or the quarterback and I set up at the end of the rough and just with max top, max left, and lay up close to the edge of that, and then you can use the sniper to bounce over the rough or to rough bump. And you get a good chance at a drop there, but it's less likely. And I could have done that with this. I mean, there are a couple holes where headwind's going to be trouble with this. Hole number 9 and hole number 3 with this account. Let's our Grizzly 5, 15%. We'll have to guess again about where we're at on the club because no, the play to the left isn't bad. So if you have to lay up in the future, you can do this rough bump. I'll go ahead and, and then you just rough bump that. But as you can see, doesn't ha has a lot of movement in it. I'm going to do the rough bump here. So 9.8, 8.4. Oh, we're going to hit min. I'm going to have to underpower it. Oh, looks like we get to use that wedge. I didn't have to underpower it. What I should have done there, where we were talking about the different things, is I should have went with the 4 back and just went over and adjusted mid club. But I also wasn't pushed the red ring up to the rough there on the rough bump. From the left, especially from where our opponent is, there is the Grizzly or the Goliath. Um, it's just where it's a more of a crosswind, whereas going right, you have more of a straight wind. And anytime you can get the wind a little straighter, it's easier. All right, so we're looking at 25% club, 10.1, it's going to be 2.2. Try to adjust with these little tiny rings. 2.2, we're still inside the cup. It's always good when you make your adjustment and you're still inside the cup. It means you got plenty of room for the grates. Now I need to decide on hole 7. What do you guys think? Should I go for it with the Zerk and push up? Or should I lay up on the left side and go for the Thorn? So let's take a look at what I would need. So this is a 26, so I'd have to push up 14 ring, or plus 14 after adjustment. All right, let's blast it. So plus 0, the 5, Thorn Dunk. Yeah, I haven't seen what the wind direction from the left is. I'm pretty sure in the opening round or the weekend round, one of these we will have to play the left side, and it's really bumpy, but there's a little bit of a funnel to the lower left of the cup. Never know, Mike. We might be blasting it and dunking it. Get both of them. All right, so our opponent's setting up a little too far left. Oh, he's got a power 3 ball. Still a little far left. I mean, you notice from where I was set up, which was the yellow ring at the fairway. Oh, he's doing a no adjustment. That'd be amazing to get a hole in one with a Zerk with an EM5 on this hole. All right, so our guide on our other one was pointing to the right side. So 3.5 to right. I'm going to give it a look. I'm going to put it in about the same spot. 10.3 is going to be 4.5. And then what did I say? I'd have to push up plus 16. So there's 10, 16. Curl. Great left, not good. Hopefully, though, we avoid. Oh, we got clear. We're going to go through. Too hot. But that was really close to the cup. We were only a little less than a square left of the cup. Had that perfect, we would have been in the bunker. But we would have hit, been really close to hitting the cup with perfect. So I pushed up a little too far. I could have gone with only two top. Get our wedge out. It's funny that that one landed in the center of the fairway with a poor great left, where my slight great left clipped it earlier. No, it's not the worst. I'll take that any day on that hole. I never expected to get down there. Hey, that's our third extra on this one. Yeah, a very bad accuracy club. All right, on to hole number 8. Again, sniper 7. Yeah, no, the sand is more of a risk. When it was going that hot, I thought I was going sand. The rough is back behind the bunker. And even then, that rough, if there was a rough there, you got that straightish wind. So, sniper 7, max plus 5, 3, 0.2 back, 0.4 right. Let's see if we can get another drop. 8.6 is going to be 8.9. So before we set the spins, we're going to find our spot. So right there, 8.9. We hit perfect. It'd be nice to get at least one par 3. We've been so close. That's coming in too hot. Not bad though. So let's start thinking about hole number 9 here. This is going to require overpower as well. Could be another good opportunity for that Ryder Cup ball. Yeah, I agree. I never expected to have 15. I was hoping just to have 12. I mean, I gotta still finish. You gotta figure out, what I'm gonna do here on 9. I mean, luckily we have a tailwind. That makes it easier. A headwind on this hole's a lot harder. Yeah, I think I'll go with the Ryder Cup ball. Get that extra top spin boost on there and the extra distance to help make up for the loss in distance of the extra mile. I have about, let's check. I might have 6, 7. I guess I could use a Zerk. That makes the second shot a little harder, but we're really just looking at trying to get the eagle here. Let's see how many I have. So I have 7 Ryder Cup balls still, but I have 42 Zerks. And then the extra mile is going to have my most distance and my most top. So let's see. Plus 10%, P5. Let's just go for eagle. Yeah, that right side is so dangerous, but when you get a headwind, that's pretty much the only way you can go. Um, because if you go to the left side here in a headwind, you're looking at laying up here, and then you have to lay up a second time and try to do a thorn bump or a grizzly bump for your third shot for the eagle. They have the ability to make this hole extremely hard. And in the right side, depending on the wind, you might have to shoot the second shot through the trees, which isn't easy either. I did not check to see if I was under the cut line. It's expert tier 2, so on day 1, I would assume I'm not. Okay, so that's about the middle there. 10.6 is going to be 5.1. Going to push back up. Since I have higher wind, I'm going to use a little curl here. We hit perfect at least. It looks like a good spot. Should be about the same drive distance. 408. That'll allow us to get into the 25% range for our next shot. And we'll just play this safe, you know, put us in the albatross chance, but mainly just trying to make sure we get the eagle and secure the eagle. since I don't know what the slider on the Thorn 7 or the Sniper 7. See if I have it on here while our opponent figures out their ring adjustment. So it's 9 rings for the Sniper 9 instead of 9.5. So 8, I believe, is the same as Sniper 9. So I'm going to say 8 rings. 8.5 rings is going to be 25%. Plus 5% there. So 10.5 again. Oh, we're at min. All right, so we went up 4 rings. We're just going to use min here, so 9.3. Gonna have to underpower this a little. Hopefully we got enough adjustment since we hit min. A little over adjusted, but not bad. We got our goal, which was to get within a putt. If I had a bigger sniper with more back, I would have felt more comfortable pushing up closer, but I had the max back on there. Oh, an auto release. Are you serious? Of all times for that to happen. 2 rounds, no issue with it, and then it auto releases on the putt. Yeah, we're through. That's not a problem. That was killer on the end. We would have been up here tied for first. Yeah, those happen sometimes, Mike. You know, I mean, I don't feel like I lifted my finger any. I'm just sitting there counting. It's always in the same spot too. Always to the right. As I'm waiting for it to come back, it just releases. I try to make sure I'm pressing my screen hard enough when it happens. But we're through. It's a tough break because I will need that in the future. But that is it for me for tonight. Good luck, everybody, on your rounds. Good luck, Mike. My auto releases are almost always on putts. The occasional chip, but it's always on putts and always on putts that have that large curl. So, like where I had to go to the left, and it's almost always as I'm waiting for it to swing back. So, usually by the time I find the spot, it's past perfect. So I got to wait for it to swing all the way back. And on the way is when it releases. It's annoying. It's killed rounds before, but I can't complain. It's still better than I expected to do with this account. I never expected to drop, 1, 4, and 7. I knew 1 was a possibility, but 4 and 7 I figured were long shots. But good night, everybody. Good luck. Yeah, it's when it's not something that's really your fault, or at least doesn't feel like it's your fault, it's really easy to get pissed off about it. But if you let it get to you, it'll ruin the rest of your rounds. You're welcome, Mike. Good luck. Hopefully, it gave you a little bit of insight into the notes, learned a little potential things you can tweak. But can't complain about the scores. Got all three albas on the first account and got three extras on this account and with the clubs. Thanks for hanging out.